Welcome back to Biosyn's Jurassic World. I've been doing some terraforming. Ignore the protest immediately underway. So, this is our Cretaceous cruise section of the park, surrounded by hills on either side, the river, and the low-lying valley between the hills, which comes out into a lake. You can see this on the Jurassic World maps, and then it comes out into other river sections. We're not going to put those other river sections in because this part of the map here is already a ridge, so we'll use this as the basis for this mountain ridge here that extends out. So this is just going to end at a lake. Slightly different geography. We're making do, right? The Nublar map in the films is completely fucking inconsistent movie to movie anyway, so we might as well have some compromises with it. So this will be the front part of the Cretaceous cruise area, which will be our Baryonyx exhibit. And then this back here will be the herbivore area, and then eventually we'll sneak an aviary in here at the very far end. And that keeps pretty close to what is done in the film. The Cretaceous cruise has Suchomimus, Baryonyx, Metriacanthosaurus as carnivores, alongside a bunch of herbivores. And it's never very clear if they're all mixed together or if they're in separate exhibits with like invisible fences or something. And we might switch over to invisible fences at some point, but for now we're definitely sticking with traditional fencing. But I think at least for like the transition point along the river, it might be fun to do invisible ones. We'll think about it. In terms of how you tour the cruise, because obviously we don't have a boat attraction, I'm kind of torn on that. We could put in like gyrospheres, but I think that kind of loses the uniqueness of the cruise. So I think what we'll do is we'll put in some Biosyn viewing towers with Hyperloop connections eventually, and that will be how this is viewed. And we'll just pretend basically that there's also, you know, kayaks in here or whatever. So the viewing towers will get us the visibility. Because the actual attraction doesn't exist. This enclosure down here is going to basically be the botanical gardens, which you can find on a Jurassic World map. We're going to turn that into a dinosaur enclosure instead of a botanical garden. I think we'll put the Pyroraptor in here eventually, but for now we're going to transfer the herbivores from here into this enclosure, and we're going to tear this one down. Because we should be having our lagoon and our Main Street area basically right here. So I think Main Street should go up here where the water for the lagoon is, and the lagoon should be moved down for us. Whoa, what the hell? Down to around here somewhere. And I think that works. And then we have a lot of space to build gyrospheres and trucks and stuff for the other Jurassic World touring areas. In terms of work to do, we finished our dig for a bunch of Dimetrodon. I'm going to switch over to doing Baryonyx next. I do want to get Barry in the park right away, I think. So why don't we process all of this, finishing Dimetrodon off, with no intention of actually using it right. Oh, actually, hold on. What does it take? Is Barry 9 or 12? Barry's 9. Let's get this started first. So that's a 9 and a 2. You just do it by yourself. Easy. Yeah, then fossil processing with the 3. And then other research tasks, potentially. How long does the berry take? The berry only takes a minute and a half. We'll wait. We'll leave the logistics guy hanging back and then send him out on a Baryonyx dig. Or lady, or whatever. Let's jump in. Okay, so yeah, anything else to do here? I don't think so. Probably just about due for a storm. We need to get this exhibit sorted out for the herbivores. It's going to be a little tight, so we might have to expand it. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But we just go ahead and jump in a car. Oh, you're coming back home from somewhere. Okay, well, can I... Where's my entrance? Wait. This park is confusingly built. Tuberculosis. We have the cure for that, I hope. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get in here. Yeah, there's the MBU. Get in here, take some pictures. 200k. That's actually really good for us. I got to remember how to do the mustering. You and Eda switch. Send. Through the gate. Tuberculosis is clear. I need to, once they're in there, we need to situate them a little bit. So it looks like we got a bunch of paras that have moved over successfully. Yeah, so we can't necessarily tell what they'll need yet. Let's just go ahead and at least get them some ground nut. Because they'll definitely need some of that. And they didn't take much. Oh, are the Lystrosaurus unable to be mustered because they're small or something? Is that a mechanic? Because they don't show up here. This is so awkward to control because it's separate from the direction you're like traveling and stuff. Right, car check. Not bad. Conditions all right. We got a Nasudo in here. You want ground leaf. Let's grab some ground leaf and get that started too. Go. This doesn't work very well. I felt like this would save time, and I'm just not convinced it's actually going to do that. Huh. Well. Yeah, this is shit. Alright, has anything else gone? You know what? That's not bad. We've got a few. We've got a few guys. Paras are good. Okay. Why don't we do this? Let's just capture team like the rest of these guys. We'll leave the Lystros for last, then. Who apparently don't have hitboxes. Which is good. They are tiny. But also apparently can't be mustered, which is weird. Yeah, for whatever reason, these guys are just, like, stuck in place. Bugged out. Maybe they're stuck on the hatchery. Some of them made through, and the other ones are just stuck, and they don't know what they're doing. I don't know. It do be weird. Alright, there we go. Do all that. Alright, everything's done here. Give me some Baryonyx. Okay, all our medical research is done. What about genetics? Patterns are completed. Are all the skins done? Yeah, it's pretty bad how bad the cars are. It's only gotten worse too, I feel like. I feel like the cars were better at release and better in the first game. It's one of the few things that's kind of gone to shit, I think. I don't think... Do we want tolerant? I don't think we need tolerant. I think this is fine. Alright. I think we don't do any other research here. We just do the berry digs and try to control the sabotage that's building. And then we'll just start transferring all these idiots over.
Collecting asset. Picking up asset. En route to pick up the asset.
And we make sure they're happy, then we move over the list rooms.
Transportation underway. Asset transportation in progress.
Okay, so is that everything? I think it's just the Lystros left that are not sleeping here. Looks like it. You're moving. Is this one moving? Yes. Okay, I think that's everything. So, Nasudos are missing forest. They actually have quite a high forest need. We're just going to do this and continue to build forest in the back. A little bit too much ground leaf. You know what? So I had plans. We're going to use the ornamental shrubs for this exhibit when it's actually finished, but for now, we won't worry about it. We'll make it a proper botanical garden when it's actually Pyroraptors instead of just herbivore holding pen, number 1. So they're content. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there's like the cars. It staggers me how often they get stuck, or find themselves unable to be able to navigate, or when you get two cars like your med team coming out of an exhibit and the ranger team going in, and they just butt heads and they sit there stuck against each other for so long. It also blows my mind that they don't have anything done to fix tours that get stuck. The cars get turned around, and once the two cars are touching each other perfectly, they just bug out and are stuck. That's stuff that should be fixed too. It's really unfortunate that it's still there. You need nut, open space, and water. Well, that's a bit shit. So they're back here more than the Nasutos are. So we can try and do this. Okay, I think we just have to expand the exhibit. I don't think there's any other way around that. Yeah, and the dinosaurs are improved over the first game by quite a lot too, which is nice. It definitely would be, ideally, it would not be at the expense of other things though, for sure. Yeah, I mean, they got a little bit more food here than they need. Okay, there we go. I guess we took out too much forest, although they don't have this part covered. Okay, yeah, let's just expand. Let's just expand. What am I gonna do with the hatchery? Where do I put the hatchery? Well, okay, so here's the problem, right? I can't expand this exhibit out deeper where I want to be, which is like back in here total, because of this control center we're going to try and use. And the path has to connect through here. So we really can't reclaim space there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim down the Baryonyx lake a little bit. Let's expand out the eventual botanical garden. I think that's a good compromise. We'll use like the existing fence section here as the new border for this, and then put in a new divider for the berry exhibit. So I'm going to pause and work on that in the video. Okay, we got the expansion underway. Everything's getting moved over. Treasure! I do love some treasure. Let's get our Baryonyx going. Polacanthus is not Baryonyx. You are Baryonyx, you are Baryonyx, you are Baryonyx, you are Baryonyx, and you are Polacanthus, sneaking in to my Baryonyx. Process all this junk. We'll have Nasser do one here. And then you can rest. So, the Paras and Nasutos are good. I'm not sure if we can fit the Lystrosaurus in here without making some changes. So we're going to have to work on that. Okay. We got round 2 of Baryonyx fossils that came in. So we can take a look at this. Bird egg, bird egg. Bird egg is good. I like to see bird egg. They are delicious and nutritious and sell for an oddly large amount of money. So we can't finish up the berry here in one go. I think it's probably done. I guess we might as well throw this Polacanthus in here. Do it that way. We do... I guess we'll probably do one pass on each of these guys. Well, okay, no. Because I need to hatch... So the Baryonyxes, I have an interesting plan. We'll have to... Thanks for the sub, Bam. 3 months in a row. Damn, how has it been 3 months? That's crazy. Yeah, we'll exhaust this guy, then we can do 2 Baryonyx clutches with the welfare specialist. Because every Baryonyx we're going to put in is going to be unique. I have a plan for them. It's a poorly justified plan, but it'll be fun. So there's Baryonyx there, but I think this is probably just the rest of the Polacanthus fossils. I think we actually have the full genome. Alright, so let that build. I am a doctor. I got my PhD last summer. A doctor of physics. Alright, let's get this done. Yeah, so the second batch of fossils is the last 7%. We're good to go there. We're going to process this even though it's not a full run. And we'll do that on, yeah, the genetic specialist, and then they can rest, and then they're good to go to synth a bunch of batches of Baryonyx. So we can fish for some various good eggs and see what we get. Okay, we're getting viewing galleries in here. Everything's coming together. We got 2 galleries here. This one catches part of this exhibit, but we still want one here in the front to try and keep max visibility as high as we can. We need to move the hatchery out at some point. I don't know when. I'll have to figure out where that goes. Let's get Baryonyx going. So I want to do 5 Baryonyx, all unique, based on variations of Limbo. And the reason I want to do it based on Limbo is the Baryonyx that Biosyn interacts with in Camp Cretaceous. Now, in this timeline, Camp Cretaceous doesn't exist because, one, this takes place in like 2005, I think I said, right? When Jurassic World starts to get built. Obviously, Camp Cretaceous is much later. 2, Limbo probably doesn't exist in this timeline because of not getting cloned by Mazrani. Unless Limbo is somehow left over from Park era, then it could maybe exist. But we're just going to use the Limbo skin and similar skins because of that reference. You know, it's just a fun thing to do. They're already 50% long-lived. Let's do... You know what? They have bad lifespan. Let's just do 100% long-lived, 50% social, and 25% resilient. We only need 1 social alpha, so we'll get it eventually. So we'll hatch basically 1 Limbo, and then we're going to hatch 4 more Baryonyxes, each with a unique variation on the skin. I forgot to rest the scientist. I'm a bad man. Got a slight disease outbreak, but we've achieved quarantine in the middle of a power outage by virtue of not paying attention and getting the entire group sick. 0 seconds on that research, huh? Wow. Incredible. I've never actually gotten that to 0 before. Wait, yeah, okay, there we go. Finished. Okay, so yeah, that's going to use up the welfare guy for a round. That's fine. Other dude is back. Let's get going on some berries. Baryonyx, do it. Give me berry. So yeah, we're going to end up synthing 5 clutches and taking 1 egg from each. Do we? No, we never did the research for that. That's fine. That's fine.
That means making sure
we
they
don't
have
need
the food they need.
a lot.
Don't let them go
Do
hungry.
a. I'm talking. Do a. But we need we don't need the upgrade because we're taking 1 egg, right? Who cares if we get 2 eggs or 4 eggs if we're only taking 1 anyway? It's fine. Okay, bad timing. Medical team, you're almost good. Okay. Storm, shelters. Coverage is what's our coverage at? 100%. Good. Open all the shelters. Get them open. Okay. Tornado? Put your bets in. Tornado or not. Fucking tornado. Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, the gate's down too. Dude, it's not fair. Giving me a tornado and taking down my gate at the same time? That's bullshit. That's actually the rudest shit I've ever seen in my life. Okay. That's done. Restore the power line. And then just follow the twister in its path of destruction, I guess. You posted definitions. Why? Why is he... Oh, because the facility's offline. Of course. Okay, fix that. Twister done? Okay, it's over. Bill Paxton going to his life. Great. Fantastic. Also, that joke has a secondary meaning because Bill Paxton's fucking dead. Yeah. That wasn't thinking of that when I said that. I was thinking of the movie Twister, but what an unfortunate turn of phrase. Alright, we'll just queue all this stuff up and he'll take care of it. So, one thing we can definitely do with being picky with eggs is being choosy about aggressive. Right? So we probably take this long-lived berry here and hatch that one. However, I'd like to get the social one first. So we're going to go ahead and do our second Baryonyx. Let me check my notes I made for skins. Berry. Salar Rana. The next one on the list. We'll just go in order. Salar, Delhosco, Rana, save and exit. Sign 9, go. Now, we'll have to hatch after this. This is just one more chance at the social one first. But I think it's worth doing that. Well, this is a sizable clutch. One of these has to be a winner. Social, resilient, long-lived. Pretty good. So, if we take these social, resilient, long-lived, and we just never hatch an aggressive berry, he'll easily be the alpha with the 20% bonus. I think that's what we do here. We never hatch an aggressive berry, which honestly is pretty good just to not upset the apple cart. We don't have our cars getting charged down constantly, which is a good thing. So, our welfare specialist is going to need to take a break and then hatch the second egg, which means the geneticist is free for a little while here. We can do some other work. So what are we at on genomes? Oh, I can't see because this is full. Let's just look in the expedition map. We can do... So the lagoon soon wouldn't be bad. We could switch over to getting the lagoon built. Do we want to do that? I might want to switch over to pushing the lagoon. We need 2 stars, but we'll have that with the Baryonyx. Yeah, I think we push the lagoon. So the plan with the lagoon is to not do Mosasaur. The Mosasaur is very much a Masrani Jurassic World thing. Now, the Dominion movie had its species list leak very early on, and it included one species that did not make it into the final cut of the film or the extended cut, and that's Plesiosaurus. It was completely cut from the film. However, the leak also described the design of the Plesiosaurus, and it's the design that's in this game. It's why the Plesiosaur is so weird in this game, because it's actually a film design. So we're going to use the Plesiosaur as our aquatic, or Plesiosaur, I always forget. Because that very well might have actually been intended to be a Biosyn clone. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to put in a lagoon. It's probably not going to be as big as the Mosasaur lagoon was on this map originally. Wow, that's another sabotage very quickly after the last one. It's going a little rough. They really want to fuck with my park. Let me make dinosaurs in peace. But yeah, and then we'll get the lagoon in, and then we'll rebuild. We'll move all these shops and stuff around it. We do need the monorail in addition to the dinosaur creation stuff. So we need 2 stars before we're going to even touch any of that. The monorail is also 2 stars. Okay. So yeah, we don't have anything to do there. Let's talk dinosaurs. I'm going to do Kentrosaurus. Now, the reason we're going to get Kentrosaurus in this park is also very thin. Kentrosaurus is a Manticore clone, and Manticore had dealings with Biosyn. So we can say that it's certainly plausible that Biosyn had access to Kentrosaurus DNA. Maybe they gave it to Manticore, maybe they got it from Manticore. Who knows if Manticore exists in this timeline or what they're doing, but I think there's enough of a thread of a connection there that we can justify going... Oh, shoot, the feeder. I always forget to keep somebody around for the feeder. Crud. Okay, it's fine. If the Baryonyx gets upset, we'll just sedate it. We'll rest this guy and then do the research. It'll be fine. He might... I don't remember the Baryonyx is social, so we might have to sedate it anyway. So it doesn't matter. But yeah, Kentro research. Justified. We probably won't do a Pierce skin. Well, and that's a good opportunity for us to check out some of the Kentro skins for the new model. All right, our 1 Baryonyx is getting situated. Let's get the feeder research completed here. Do I want to use you? Yeah, I think I want to use you for this. So feeder research ongoing. Fossil check. 130k, 110. Do I want to process or do I want to do a synth? I think we'll do a process here with our other person. Just clear these out right now. And then we can synth a 3rd berry after that. 1 is enough that they don't immediately lose their shit. In terms of at least their social need. But without fish and forest, they'll probably be upset with me. If he'd go in the back, he'd have plenty of forest over there. tried putting some decorative trees around the waterfront here. But we might need to do a little bit more to make this work. What if we did... We could just do some forest back in here by the water. Actually, I'm kind of curious. Like, how well will this mesh with the rock we put in there? A little bit of forest like that. Kind of a swamp vibe. The rock in front of it. Kind of dark, so I can't really see it right now. Okay, why don't we do that? Yeah, we have kind of like a little rock outcropping here. I think I want forest kind of coming up to the back of that. We'll have to leave this alone for now and check it out in daylight and see how it looks. I mean, the berry's happy now. It's certainly good temporarily for that. I think that's not awful. Scattering of trees, a few stands in the front, a bit here, and then the back ridge near the hillside has a forest on it. Which should look good with like the botanical garden stuff over here and some other stuff going in. Probably should try to push this in a little bit more to the fence on each side. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well that's at least the first draft of the Baryonyx's lake there. So we'll see where that goes. Oh, if one of them is disabled, you don't have any narrative events? You need to have them both on? Because I definitely wanted random dino captures to not be a thing, but we can just ignore those. That's a weird thing with settings then. That's strange. Wait, which research is? Oh, the feeder's 30 seconds still. Great. Now that we have a berry in here, we can check what appeal is doing. There's definitely a lot of quirks in the Luas that don't really work the way they seem like they oughta. We'll need more amenities, or maybe just need to move these closer. Although they're probably capped. 475, yeah, they're capped. So we'll build a new set when we have more Baryonyxes then. Missing fish. Yeah, you'll have fish in a second, friend. Alright. Piscivore feeder. Good to go. Baryonyx fish feeder. Wrong one. Right in the front. We'll probably need two. Why don't we just go ahead and get two in here? Because it's easier to get them in now than when they're all the berries are in here. So I'm going to put like one on each side of the lake, I think. Kind of like each viewing gallery has their own fish feeder almost. Oh, yeah. Okay, those are well within view, which is good. We don't have the towers yet, so we definitely need those. Although we can build the Biosyn ones, but we don't have the Hyperloop because we don't have the control center built. We won't really build the control center until we get the lagoon in, and we'll space all the other buildings around the lagoon in the way that they need to be. So yeah, we kind of need to get, like, this kind of dictates where the lagoon goes. So really the lagoon is the next step, probably for next episode. I think this episode we focus on getting the rest of the Baryonyx out that we want. On that note, let's get Limbo hatched. We'll take the long-lived one. And then we'll synth him a new friend. Baryonyx number 3. Yeah, okay, thanks for coming by. Would it be Ali or Ollie? Like, subtle difference in pronunciation, I guess. Or doesn't matter, it's up to you. I'll try and remember that. Definitely remind me if I forget to call you that. I know I've forgotten before. I know you brought it up like 2 or 3 times. I'm awful at remembering names, nothing personal. Anyway, Baryonyx it. We want Champlain Papurana is the next one. Champlain dark green, Papurana is okay. Good to know. Yeah, Champlain Papurana, so that's like a lighter back color and a darker green. So we're kind of doing like variations on the Limbo color palette, essentially, to build like a pack of color-themed Baryonyxes that are all unique still. Kind of a reference almost to the Berry Trio, except we're doing a Berry Quartet. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Looked like we might have lost the lottery here with aggressive berries, but this one's actually thirsty. Which I think is okay. Like, we have a really large lake for the berries, so I think if this one becomes alpha, it doesn't screw us over. I think. We can't hatch it right now anyway. But, yeah, it should be fine. Okay, we can hatch this berry now. The social long-lived thirsty one. Definitely want to make sure the other two in the pen have combined into one pack first. Before we release this one. But it should be fine. We got the other guy who's got to rest and then can get the rest of the pack made. And then the logistics specialist is kind of chilling out here. Yeah, so 2.5 stars for anything related to power. Do I like insects? Not traditionally. They kind of annoy me. Control center. What do we want to do? I think we should just do... we'll just do the tour. Let's just do the tour here. We'll get that done. We're not going to put the tour in anytime soon because that goes in the back end of the park, but we might as well just do it now for research purposes. Okay, we can get berry number 3 out and get the 4th one going. Put you in over here. So, well, those ones are right there. We'll put you in over here, I suppose. We should check how they're doing. Although we also would like to check out all our Baryonyxes in daylight and see all the different little tweaks we've given them for their genetics. Oh, actually, yeah, we shouldn't have social anymore. We should just be pushing resilient chance up. Because we already have our alpha. So, Baryonyx number 3. Mangrove Pulkarana. Mangrove Pulkarana. Yeah, so we're going like green and yellow with these guys. Now, the other fun thing with green and yellow is it's a reference to the Kenner Baryonyx, too. Which I only realized after I had started doing it. Which is cool. The lagoon will be essentially like right in here.
Our job is to remain ever vigilant because we know the dinosaurs.
So we need to move the dilos out of the way. And then we need to get the lagoon put in, and then we need to build some infrastructure around the lagoon, and then we need to get Main Street in up here. That's essentially the plan. Main Street, lagoon, and then the loop around the lagoon, and then the entrance.
Will give no quarter.
How you guys doing?
Only helps us
nice and good needs. I mean, I guess it's Limbo, right? The second Baryonyx, we've seen Limbo before. We know what Limbo looks like. The third one, though, he is special. We can try and take a quick look at him in the rain. Yeah, so we've got a dark green with a yellow stripe for this berry. Who's sick and why? Tuberculosis. Medical team's on the way because they've been assigned anyway. Right. What do we got? Long-lived and fit. Aggressive. I'll take the long-lived and fit. We're doing Plezzy. Plezzy is the Dominion aquatic, even though it was cut from the film, so it's the one that should be in the park build. And the Mosa is explicitly not Biosyn. So we definitely don't want anything that's explicitly unconnected to Biosyn. Like a Jurassic era thing would work. We could have done Tylosaurus as Jurassic Park the game reference and just say that, you know, Biosyn basically stole the DNA from the original Jurassic Park, but the Tylo is also not really canon. Sorry for Jurassic Park the game supporters, but it's not really canon. I don't know why it was cut. That's a question you have to ask the people who cut it. This one's going to be Salar Lithobates. So I think we already had a Salar, but we didn't have a Lithobates one. Yeah, this is like light green, dark green. And that should be the 5th one. Those should be our 5. It did look like a snake, according to leaks, yeah. Like, it's never been explicitly said factually that the plesiosaur in this game is the Dominion one, but you can read between the lines and know that it is. Because it literally leaked way before the game previewed it that the plesiosaur in Dominion looked like a snake. And it's like none of Frontier's designs are like that weird, I don't think. The closest is probably the Deinonychus, but the Deinonychus is also kind of a reference to archaic designs for dinosaurs, deliberately so. Resilient, long-lived, and fit is probably the one to take. Yeah. We'll just mark it there so that we don't forget. Get our last, second to last one out here, and then the other one. number 3.
En route to collect the asset.
And that was number 4. Sorry, this is number 5. Yep, I have my original copy of Jurassic Park from 1993 still. It's fallen apart. It's held together by tape. The cover's long since gone completely, but I still have it somewhere. I think I have a newer copy too that's not completely torn apart. Increased number of dinosaurs, ticket sales, or modified. Just numbers. Well, ticket sales is more. We'll do ticket sales. That's the bigger
I
contract.
need people who can do the job as directed. I put the latest objective details into a message for you to review.
Yeah, no,
Pay
I read
attention.
the shit out of
Get it done as
Crichton's
instructed.
Jurassic Park when I was like 7.
Asset delivery confirmed.
Which I shouldn't have been probably reading that when I was 7, but nobody was going to
Of course,
stop
I'm
me.
interested in the
so.
value of paleontology. Before me, the science toiled. in
That's an
relative
interesting looking
obscurity.
berry.
But
Like a
since I
blue
created
stripe.
living
Very
dinosaurs,
yellow.
Doing the impossible requires a level of excellence you
Levels
can
are
only
pretty
retain
good.
if you
Forest is running a
compensate
little low.
accordingly.
We might need a little bit more forest in here. So yeah, okay, so let's talk about this strip of tree on the rock here. So I think we want to push this back and try to get more of that rock exposed. Yeah, right about like that, I think. So let's push the trees then this way. A little bit more. Like that. Yeah, I think that's a decent exhibit. Maybe I don't like how much the fences show on either side. We didn't really give ourselves enough space to do anything different with it. What if we do a little bit of this? What if we just do this on either side to like obscure the view of the fences a bit? And then maybe we thin out this bit a little bit more so that some of the water shows through. What about that? Like, I don't mind seeing the fence a little bit. I think I like this. I think this is pretty good. I mean, trying to use a rock as an egg just doesn't work. It's too big. No, the Metri was film. Metri was not in the book. Metri is strictly a film thing. So that's the Pulkarana one. Yeah. Okay, so they have a good forest. Everything's really good now. Actually. That's a much better balance overall. Yeah, thinning out the forest actually doesn't like reduce the overall contribution from it, which is kind of weird. How's this one look? I mean, this one's right on the corner here. I think probably we delete this eventually. We probably put a Biosyn viewing gallery in the hill back there and just have the one in the front. This isn't bad. You get a nice little side view down there towards the water. It's kind of obscured past the grass. That's not bad at all. Okay, last one. Let's put him out here in the water so we get a nice view. And that completes the Baryonyx project. That's our first, like, real exhibit. As in, that's actually roughly what I actually want the exhibit to be. With the dinosaurs I actually want in the exhibit. So I'm pretty happy with it overall. That's good stuff. So next really is going to be the plesiosaur. I think, yeah, we still need to keep digging that. Let's do that. And this is not enough to process. We are at a good amount. We need to hit 2 stars, though, to make that work. So we need to pick up our ratings. Amenities, 80%. That definitely supports another set of buildings. Accommodation rating is 97, so we can also fit a hotel in here. So I'm thinking we do a strip of medium probably here. Yeah, let's do that. Food, drink, shopping. They're all pretty much the same. So it doesn't really matter where we start. None of that's actually orange. A lot of white, a lot of green. How do we make this one work decently? This actually probably has to be like stuffed toys. Yeah, because it probably goes stuffed toys, aquarium, and fossil skeleton display. Yeah, because these are shifted now. These are no longer adequate. So we do skeleton display, and then this is, yeah. We need 2 white pips on whatever the main thing is if we can swing it. Cheap burgers, skeleton display. These all have to be set up differently. Stuffed toys is correct, just skeleton display again. Boom. There's some like weird stuff out there about people who think stuff in the book that wasn't in the book. Like there's different printings of Jurassic Park with different species lists, but there's a lot of like almost gaslighting of people who talk about Stegosaurus being from the novel, and that's explicitly from the film. Not even from the film, it's from the props in the film. Like, I don't know. I don't know why there's so much misinformation out there in the fan base about some of that. Do you think people who care enough about Jurassic Park to post on Reddit about it would have an idea of what's in the book and what's in the film? Yeah, it's so the Pachycephalosaurs can fight each other. Presumably the Stygimolochs are probably in there too. That's what I've always thought, but that's never been actually confirmed. For all we know, the Stygimolochs were, I don't know, in the fucking sewer hanging out or something. Who knows? Who knows where anything in Jurassic World was that was introduced in Fallen Kingdom? I mean, they didn't care enough to actually, like, set much of that up. And Camp Cretaceous barely gets into that, too. I mean, that Camp Cretaceous basically establishes that the Carnotaurs were not on display, and that's as far as they really go with that. Oh, and that the Sinoceratops are new, right? But that's all, like, Season 1 shit. And past Season 1, they don't even bother, like, trying to build up Jurassic World any more than they already had. Which is, like, a huge missed opportunity. Let's do... yeah, path through here. Do something like that. Try and maybe help the transport rating a bit. And then for hotel, these corners, I mean, we could get those corners, or we could try to keep the hotel maybe a little closer to everything. Yeah, let's put the hotel just here on the side strip. I think that's fine. Hopefully that's not too far from the entrance. Okay, there's our buddy flying in.
Asset has been delivered.
Because it didn't exist when Jurassic World was made. It was added later. Retcons. Alright, there's our final Baryonyx. That's the Salar Litho. So we got Salar Litho, nice light green one. We got the Mangrove Pulkarana Banana Boy over here. It doesn't look so banana in the shadow. Trust me, he's a banana. We got the Champlain Papurana, who's got a nice two-tone color thing going on with a yellow stripe. Kind of Indoraptor-ish, right? Kind of like an Indoraptor color-themed Baryonyx almost. If the body was like darker instead of green, it's kind of neat. And then we got Limbo, who looks like Limbo. And then we got, yeah, the Salar Rana one, which is, yeah, your kind of just two-tone black-green one. Cannon pattern, but a different base color. I think that's a cool troop of Baryonyxes, all with their own little variation on the same similar color palette. I think that's really neat. It gives them like an individual identity, but they're still a cohesive unit. That's pretty cool. Also, they're all coming in here to like pose together. Awesome. All right, research complete. Okay, 2 stars. Sick. Okay. So 2 stars is a huge unlock for us. That's the lagoon. We don't even have the hotel built, which is really good. So, I think we'll wrap this one up here. Next time we push the lagoon and we start building the actual park infrastructure. All of this is placeholder. All of these buildings got to get moved around and moved out of here. What is the Rocky Mountains? My dude, you asked some of the wildest questions. The Rocky Mountains are the mountains that go through the western US and Canada. They separate the west coast from the interior. I don't know why we're discussing this on stream.